Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, coming at you with another interview, or as I like to call, a conversation with. And today, I'm really happy to have our new guest today, our guest interviewer, host, or no, I'm bad at this, host, no. Our guest is Dean from the band Social Circuit, Kids on the Move, and the owner, and he runs Alternate Plus, correct?
Yeah.
Out in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Welcome, Dean. Welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming by. Abang Kabar? Abang Kabar?
Right man. Thanks. Thanks for learning that in advance.
No problem. Love to give respect to fellow people around the world and everything. Yeah. How are you doing today? How's your day been and everything?
It's a busy day. We're getting ready for the tour, for the Japan tour. We had our last practice just a few hours ago, and we all packed up. We took all the endorsement stuff from Vans, Hikari Riders. We are all ready to go to the show to catch. Yeah.
Nice and prepared. All right, you guys are pretty. I'm excited that you guys are heading back out to Japan. That's good. All right. That's gonna be a little bit later. I was gonna talk about touring and everything, but I'll stick with my PowerPoints right now and everything.
Yeah.
First thing I wanted to talk about is your debut EP, Borrow Time.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of years now. I think about it came out in 2018, correct?
Yeah.
So about 5 years now and everything. Looking back on it now, it's been 5 years since you dropped that album. Do you feel like you're the same Dean as you were before? How do you have like any thoughts on it now at 5 years later, Borrow Time? What are your feelings about it?
I think like it's hard to say. That record is like a matured version of me when it came out, and I think because like back then I haven't got any kids yet. I was already married, but haven't had any kids yet. So even then, it was more like maturing into like a married state. There's a lot of like changes in my life as well, in terms of work, where I was living, because I was like living in both Malaysia and Singapore. So yeah, to think that I'm matured even more now, way past borrowed time, and it's always like good to look back to where I've been at, because those songs like meant a lot to me, like Perfections, Dark Clouds, The Room. Every time I sing those songs, it takes me back to a certain time in my life. So yeah,
that's awesome. So it has very positive feelings to it. So when you see it, it's like a little snapshot of your life back then and everything.
Definitely, that's correct.
All right. And so at the time, since it's been out for like 5 years, the reception, like how people, I mean, like your friends, family, and like critics and whatnot, how do they feel about the album that you dropped and everything?
I think it's always great to see like someone new discovering it, because it has been a while. We toured Japan first time with Borrowed Time, and then the reception was very great. We managed to like hit a lot of like big shows, festivals. Started out with Borrowed Time, so and to see how the songs matured, and then we have released new songs after that, and to see where we were and where we are now, and it's always great to see the journey that we had
to get where.
Yeah.
That's good. You're very. It sounds like the journey has been a very good, positive journey and everything. Like nothing
It took us so far. Like we toured Indonesia, we toured Asia. We went to like South Korea with Turnstile, and Singapore. We went to Japan with it. So it does take us a lot of places, and it's exciting to see like where we can go now. To know that if Borrowed Time can take us to all those places, what more can we do with our new album? That's hopefully coming within this year or next year. Yeah.
Ooh, sneak peek, baby. Ooh, exclusive stuff right now. Nice. And that's really awesome because with Corona and everything, you lost 3 years of it. But prior to that, you got so much done in such a short time. If you think about it, in what, 2.5 years, when you dropped that album and you toured around a lot like that, that's pretty impressive and everything.
Yeah, because 2019 we actually like recorded like 3 songs that were part of the new album that we were writing, and because of COVID, what happens, we haven't really got to play the songs at all. And one of the track we released under WDI, World Domination, was around, and it never got played live at all. So from like 2020, it was released in Malaysia. It was released in Seoul in 2019, but it was released in Malaysia 2020. And then we booked our tour in June, but everything fell off in March and April, right? Yeah. So basically 2020 is this. We are out here promoting our vinyl, our split cassette, things that we released in 2019 and 2020.
It feels a little weird?
It's weird, but the songs never got played live. So like we never really get to promote. We still have a lot of them at home. And
hey,
to
buy our stuff. We've never played this song live. It's
exactly. Perspective. I think WDI now is the various artists compilation vinyl is already at like 5th series, I think, and Drown was released on the 1st series. To put it in perspective.
Oh wow, that is a funny way to look at the perspective of that. Like you've been sitting on it for that long, 5 volumes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So we can finally move on. We can go.
So now like. So basically, the tour that's happening right now was part of like the 2020 plans of like playing all these songs, selling all these like vinyls and cassettes, and after that we were going to like go back to the studio and finish writing all the albums and then start another tour cycle. But yeah, so we are just gonna finish all our bucket lists from 2020 in 2023.
That's awesome. That sounds like you and the band itself. You guys aren't quitters. You guys are like, well, we had to do it. We had it before, but we're gonna power through it. We're gonna get it done, even it is 3 years later.
Yeah, it's crazy because like when Borrowed Time came out, it really did like get a lot of traction because especially like when we hit that tour with Turnstile, we got even better tractions, and we were milking the attention that we get, obviously.
Hey, that's good. All
right?
Yeah.
And to see it all went to it all went downhill during COVID, and now we are back like introducing ourselves again. So it's crazy. Yeah.
I never thought of it like that when you said you had so much momentum. It just kind of.
Yep. Yeah. As you can see, like because like we released stuff in like 2019, we were about to go to Japan again in 2020, and then like nothing happened for 3 years because I moved to Singapore and I couldn't see my friends like for like 3 years.
So it was Corona and moving, so a lot of things that just kind of literally stopped you guys in your place. So I'm happy that you're about to go back and finally get these songs out there, promote, get back into the swing of everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, it makes me think like, I was gonna say it's been 5 years since the release, but also with Corona stopping you, what have you learned since the release of Borrowed Time? Is there anything you've learned from there, like from that time until now, that like recording wise, writing lyric wise, touring wise, just anything you've learned that you were like, oh, I kind of want to do this differently now, or I didn't know I could have done that?
Definitely. I think it's a matter of like understanding the wave of doing things. Like if you started if I already like started like writing the songs, then I release the song, has to come together with a lot of things like touring, the music video, all the creative stuff, all the merchandises has to go like together along with the wave, you know. And you cannot like wait for like 3 years and then like
No,
like,
you can't.
thinking that this might just like pick it up. No. So basically, what we are doing right now is just like re-promoting like a lot of like older songs, just so that we can get it out of the way, because it doesn't do justice, because like we felt that we had like really good songs, and we put a lot of like emotion, time, and a lot of money as well in it. So like we felt that we want to do justice of the release, because it does meant a lot to us, because one of the release was a split cassette with an Indonesian band and a Singapore band called Tapestry. During COVID, the vocalist of Tapestry passed away, and
R.I.P.
And that record meant a lot to us, because we had a lot of plans to tour together, to promote the songs in like Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and it just didn't happen because of what happened. And that's one of the reasons why we are doing this, because we want to keep the memory going, because it meant a lot to us back then, and it still does. So it's just crazy. And even though it doesn't seem like a good idea to promote like something old, we just want to like power through it, and then like we're gonna get back on track next year with a new release. And then like everything has to be like pre-release, and then promos, and then everything just has its own wave of content and stuff. Yes.
That's I mean, R.I.P. to your fellow band, not the guy in the other band and stuff. That's really sad that happened and everything, but that's really awesome that you guys are continuing on in his memory and everything, because not to stop, because I'm pretty sure he sounds like a guy, he probably wouldn't want you to stop. He probably would want you guys to keep going and like share what you guys created together, and that's amazing that you guys are doing that for him. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're breaking my heart over here.
I mean, he's one of the best guys that I've met in like doing shows, playing music. So like, yeah, this is important to me and a lot of people, I guess.
Could you tell me one more time, what is the name of the band? Like, I want to write down specifically. I want to check their stuff out and everything. What's the name of the?
Tapestry. Tapestry. Tapestry.
Tapestry. All right. For those of you who are watching and listening, check out Tapestry. Onwards. So, Borrowed Time. I've been listening to that album a lot lately, and I wanted to like talk with you a little bit and see if I was getting like the meat. I guess I feel like the songs are open to interpretation, or they all have like a solid meaning to them.
It's always open to interpretation, because what I try to do is have like a basic understanding of what the song is, but you can always like apply it to like your own issues,
Right.
or your own life, because I try to make it as not vague per se, but it touches on like, it can touch you different aspect of your life depending on where you are. For instance, like perfection. It for me myself, it was a song about the relationship between me and my dad, but it can easily be interpreted like how a couple see each other, like expect to be each other to be perfect and stuff. But it's actually a song about me and my dad.
Oh, okay, good. No, this is great, because like I like learning about things behind everything in terms of music and everything, learning like the stuff I'm listening to, what it actually means or what it doesn't mean and stuff, gives me a better understanding. And my understanding was, I thought it was about making a mistake and looking for like forgiveness in a way. So that's how I interpreted it. So I think it's like cool that there's a song about your dad, but I don't know if I got the kind of similar overlap there. anything like that.
Because I don't write my songs in how to say like I don't like it to be like very straight. I like it has to be a certain percent has to be your own emotion being poured in the songs, so that I don't know, like maybe like they can make it their own, so that they can relate to the songs in terms of like their own they give a bit of themselves into the songs, because folk itself is always like a lot of like different emotions, so it's I don't like to like write like to just say this song is about this and it's not about anything else, so I don't like it when it comes to be like that.
It's you don't like being too direct with your lyrics in your songs.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would say like with
because I like everybody to put like a bit of themselves in the songs.
And I would say when it comes to Social Circuit, you're a little bit more not as direct with your songs, but maybe Kids on the Move and maybe the Vagabonds, your other bands and stuff. Maybe they're a little bit more direct, or is it kind of on all the bands that you played?
Yeah, Kids on the Move can be a bit direct, but yeah, I don't write any songs for the Vagabonds, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you just play in the Vagabonds.
Yeah.
Understandable. But it sounds like in your writing process in general, you like to leave it open for interpretation, let it be a very organic experience for people than being saying like A, B, C, D.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I want to see more of like what my interpretations of Borrowed Time is, and just see if I got in your headspace a little bit or got it right. The Room is Never Cold Enough. Great opening track. I was thinking it's about a song about chasing after someone that's long and gone, and you're like missing them in a way.
Close. But it's more about chasing. For me myself, it's about chasing the image of the person that you want to be with. Like
Okay, that makes more. I kind of
the word, the phrase itself. The room is never cold enough. It's actually a funny phrase that my wife. I always tell. I always say to my wife, because she always said that the room is never cold enough, because she'll just take the AC and like make it cool. So I'll get annoyed and like it's too cold, but and then she'll just say like the room is never cold enough.
I love your wife. Oh, she's just want that line alone. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh, she'd be perfect. She lived perfectly in Texas, in the States and everything. It's the air conditioning is never cold enough there too. She would be so pleased. Awesome.
Like I'm in it with the like heating floors in South Korea, but I don't think she can. Like even my kids like take up to her. Like she wants the like house the room will be to be like super cool. Like, never.
You married a good wife right there, because that's what I want. I want a cold room too. Oh, you found yourself a great wife. The song In Line. I was thinking, waiting to see if your regrets and past kind of catch up to you. That's what I was getting in terms of interpretation.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much kind of spot on.
I mean, like, if I'm not sure if you saw the video that we did for it, the animation video. So, how to say?
I remember. I knew I forgot. I missed one video. I was like, I'm forgetting something. I think that's what I forgot. I watched your other videos for like Slither and Slip Away, but I forgot. Dang it.
I think I remembered when I wrote this song. I was like living in Singapore, and like there was like a perpetuate life that I was like I found myself always waiting in line somewhere. It's either like waiting in line to get foods, waiting in line to get into the train. So like the frustration, the waiting, and then like sometimes you just like I just want to get to the end. Like
I just want to get there quickly. I get out of my way. I'm just tired of being in line. And I can definitely think I can, since living in Korea compared to the States, I get where you're
Yep.
coming with that in lines, the subway, the buses, and just more being around people since I'm not in a car like I would be in Texas where I go where I want to go. But yeah, okay, I can see that, the frustration.
So that feeling, like I put it into the song, and then like I imagine like it's like you already know what kind of life that you want to be in, and like you have to wait in line and just go through all the bullshits, right?
Yes.
You have to go through the downs and everything. You have to go through all the frustrations to get where it's at. So I see it's like waiting in line because you cannot do anything. You just have to wait for your turn, and
Yeah.
your turn will come eventually.
Unless if you live in Korea here and the older ladies just cut in front of you, they just go wherever. I don't know if it's the same in Malaysia, but in Korea they just
In
cut.
Singapore we cut in lines, but in Malaysia we cut in lines, but in Singapore they do it. Yeah.
Okay, there's a little bit more
Get
order.
get into fights. Yeah.
Oh, I love Singapore. There's so much order. I love it. Lastly, Dark Clouds, which I think you might know is one of my favorite songs from y'all.
Yeah.
I really think I feel like it's about giving support to someone, no matter what, like no matter where they're at in life, you're always giving the like helping out and supporting somebody in their life in a way. If got that kind of correct.
Yeah. It does. Dark Clouds is like because it's very close to me because my wife have was diagnosed with clinical depression.
Oh.
So for me, I was like being very typical male about it, like because it's always about like fixing it, you know, like not listening very well. So it was my own frustration as well. So that's why I would reassure like I can't do much, but I'm here. I want to listen, and like I want you to know that it's okay to cry, it's okay to fall, it's okay. Just know that like I'm here and everything, you know.
Okay, I think now I understand why I personally really connect with Dark Clouds because I think I will never openly. I probably do have a good amount of depression in me and things. I'm always feeling sad a lot of the time, but it's weird. Sadness makes me happy in a weird way. If I'm not sad, I don't feel happy. Like I don't.
I understand. A lot of people who actually listens to like emo songs are like that.
So true.
Like it's the same with a lot of people. Trust me. Like it's the only way. Like because like you get to acknowledge yourself, to be vulnerable, right?
Yeah,
to be in there, and it's okay.
Exactly.
But, like some people are just like they don't understand what's going on with them, and they can't even like explain what's going on with them. You know, like most people like me, like because like I'm very typical in that sense because like I hear a problem, I want to fix it right away, but like I had to learn it the hard way that depression doesn't work that way. You know, you cannot fix something that is like you don't know what's broken. So
exactly,
it's very tough. It's the song itself is a reminder to me as well because I have to keep on reminding myself, like you know, it's not something that you can just fix.
You can't just
something. Yeah, it's something that you have to accept and you know just be there.
Yeah, and just be there and being supportive and just being present is more than enough sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so that makes me now when I listen to Dark Clouds, I'm even going to be even weirdly more sad, but more happy about it because I'm being, as you say, vulnerable, which I love. Awesome. Oh, thank you for giving me so much insight on Borrowed Time, and
thank you for like wanting to understand the song. Like it's always like awesome like talking to somebody like about my songs because I do have some friends that dissect their album and then they wanted to talk to me and I always get excited to talk. because like I get to see their interpretation of the songs as well. Because like I say, I like it when like everybody like just put a bit of themselves in the song and then see where it goes for them themselves.
Oh, well, then I'm so happy that I can be a part and make you feel happy, because this is why I love music.
Why I put the songs in the first place. So yeah, it's not like it's not like I wrote the song just thinking that I'm gonna perform for like 5,000 people in front of me. I know I'm gonna perform it in front of like 10 people. So yeah, even like one person out of like 10 or hundreds and like appreciate the song, it just means the world to me. So thank you.
Thank you for making great music that makes me feel like that. That's more, I can't explain how much that just makes me so happy. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
Oh, this is so wonderful, so awesome. And before I move on to other things, like a little bit more about Borrowed Time, I'm really fascinated with the cover, the artwork, and everything. Like, and with the song, I guess I need to go back in line that there's a music video that goes with it. But is there any? I don't think there's anything that there's a meaning behind the album like cover, but is there like a story behind it? Because it's a great looking album cover. It's very eye catching.
There's not much in terms of like the direction, other than like I was really into like city pop, the Japanese.
City pop is my jam.
Like lo-fi city pop, like my jam while doing Borrowed Time. So I look up this local artist, and then like we got in touch, and then I told them like, okay, I really wanted like a vinyl style city pop cover, and then what he did was just like have this like Japanese model, and then like he drew up the set behind it, and then the character of it. So like it's just like, dude, that's the girl. Like if I had like an image of like a girl that lived through the songs, that's the girl in Borrowed Time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how did I not see the city pop rep? I love city pop songs and the style and the art.
The colors, man.
Yeah, I kept thinking of it. I was like, who's this Malaysian like schoolgirl? I was thinking like it's like a high school girl like in Malaysia. I'm like, Borrowed Time. Is she like trying to like become an adult faster or something like that? But maybe, see, I think I was overthinking the art cover because it just looked so amazing and really cool. Like the colors were popping, but I like the simple explanation. You just love city pop and wanted something similar to it. That is awesome. Okay, thank you for giving me the explanation about that. So I love that. I've got so much. I'll condense it a little bit. So on the 16-inch 2016 EP, you guys recorded some videos and everything for the songs. Was it like Slip Away and Slither, right?
Yep.
Curious, like those music videos and everything. How did you guys come up with the ideas for the videos? Because they look really fun. Like it looks like y'all having a great time and everything.
It was just like luck in a sense, because we have a lot of like creative friends. So when they are free, they always like offer their services to to collaborate and stuff. So when we were starting out, we don't have a lot of resources, and like obviously a lot of people don't know how our songs went, but we do have a lot of friends that have like confidence in us. So so as you can see, like the music video was actually us recording Slither. Yeah, it was us recording the track itself. Yeah.
Oh.
And the show that we played was one of our first show that we played the song live. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. You got to record your first time playing that song, and you guys making it. So it's just like a behind the scenes kind of in a way.
We were just like hanging out together while like doing the band. And they were all like kind enough to just like shoot around every time we were together. So those were the footages when things were happening in the early days of the band.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Okay, cool. I was really excited to see hear a little bit more about that because it looked like y'all had a great time making those videos and everything.
Yeah, that's fun. It was our first song. Slither itself is actually our first song ever, like, as a band.
Oh,
So like the recording session itself is first time we recorded together, because I pre-recorded the songs myself, and then I will send to the band, and then we bring it to the studio. We'll brush it up a bit, and then eventually we will hit the recording studio. So that was actually the first time we ever record anything together. So that was cool.
oh, snap! That's pretty dope and everything. Oh, okay. Some little behind the scenes lore and everything. Oh, nice. Um, Another before I talk to about other before I move on to other things, the last thing about music and everything, the split, best kept secret and everything. I was looking into, I was trying to figure out like how did that split come together? Like, because it's like I still couldn't find the other music from the other bands. I could only find your guys' music, but like how did that split come together?
This It was when I first talked to Hafiz, the vocalist of Tapestry, the late Hafiz. Um, we always cross path some way in with Tapestry as well. So when we were hanging out in Singapore, I kept like saying, we kept like, hey, dude, we have to do something together. We have to do something together. So eventually, like in 2018, we finally like, okay, let's do this record together with like an Indonesian band as well. Because I got into this like band from I think Solo or Malang, called Beeswax, and then
Oh,
yeah. So
I think I've seen them on your flyers a few times. I think you guys have played.
we haven't played together, but we did like
Oh,
promote the stuff as well.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so eventually like we all got it. We made like a WhatsApp account, WhatsApp group account, so we can talk to each other about it. So,
Okay.
and then we got into touch with like labels from each countries, from Singapore, from Malaysia was just, and then Indonesia, like Langsen Swap, I think like Swara or something, and then like Dangerous Goods from Singapore. So when everything gelled together, we just like record ourselves the two songs, and then I did the cover, and everything was just like being done online. But
Oh, wow.
we yeah, but we did have like a plan to like tour together for Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia before COVID. So
I see. And so, but that's where that story ends right there. But you're still gonna go play these songs out on this upcoming tour, correct?
definitely.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That was gonna lead me into my another segment, but I'll talk about this first. I'm very curious to know like what are your influences for making music and stuff over the years? Like who has been some of your biggest influence, like non-emo, hardcore, like just
I would say I listen to quite a range of stuff, but I would say the stuff that I grew up with still can be can be heard in my songs. Yeah, I just couldn't shake it up. Like I don't like sometimes I don't even notice it, but like my friends will be like, dude, like how come like you sounded like somebody from uh, It's a Fest actually like point out that it sounded a bit like at the drive-in. I was like, oh, how did you get that? Like I didn't even like notice it. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I can see that. I can see that.
And
Yeah.
some people like manage to pick up Hopes Fall, and then they will say like title fight is a given, but like they can say that it sounded like a lot of like Hopes Fall or Envy, and then
Oh, I definitely can see the hopes fall for sure, like the influence.
yeah, those are some of the like older. I wouldn't say like that old, but like
I mean,
from
now
my-
it's They're old now. They are. They kind of are. We have
Yes,
to.
so again, the older bands, like the current generation, might not know how. So it's always cool to see that some people actually like pick it up, and I don't take it as like a negative thing, because like I love those bands, and if somehow some way I'm like resonating those sound, I'm just like good. I'm doing it.
Yeah, those are great bands, and who wouldn't want to have some like references like, oh, you kind of sound like Host Fall and At the Drive. I'm like, shit, okay, all right.
Because those were my jam. So like
Yeah, and it's even funny where you're like, oh, I wasn't even trying, but damn, you're right. Yeah, that kind of sounds like At the Drive-In a little bit. Influences. I wanted to say, outside of music, are there any other influences that help you like write music or to inspire you outside of music, like family, friends, revenge? What drives you?
it's more of like personal experiences. It's albeit let it be like in my sports in terms of like skateboarding. I cycle. I do like motocross and stuff, and then like it either from work, because I work in the creative industry. It has a lot of like down more than up, and then like having being in my family, there's a lot of like a lot of things going on there, because I live in a typical Malay Asian family. Not to say that it's like broken or anything. It's just that there's a lot to unpack, because like if I speak to somebody around my age, they will definitely be able to like understand what I went through. So it's not like I wouldn't say it's super tough like some people, but it's still a lot of things to unpack. So it's good for me to be able to like address this in my songs. So even though like I know like my parents won't even like know that I actually like talk about them or anything.
It's your own way of like getting back at like your family or stuff, or like other like, I got so much I want to say, but can't say them directly, so I'll just put it through a song.
Definitely, because I rely a lot on playing music in terms of, let it be like in a hardcore band or social circuit. A lot of my emotions like go towards there, and when I couldn't do it, my family, my wife, my kids are the one who has been like bearing the blunt of it all, like so, like yeah. But at the same time, they were the one who keeps me like afloat during COVID as well, because I there was no creative outlet, there was no emotional outlet for me. So like having them around was like definitely saved my.
It kept your mind going in like the creative space, like wanting to create more stuff because of them, but because Corona, you couldn't do the normal things you wanted to do. So you were just kind of, I don't know what to write about or do.
Because I don't know, I wouldn't say like I'm emotionally healthy, but I have my own way of coping with stuff. And playing music and being out there doing things it keeps me afloat. It keeps me sane. So not being able to do it is just like, it's like hitting a brick wall and there's no way over it. I don't know how.
But I get what you're saying. We all cope in different ways and whatnot, and like music is one of your big ways to get through your emotions and deal with your emotions, and having that kind of like stunted was not very helpful because of Corona and everything. But I'm happy that you're getting back into your creative flow and juices of like having the world give you influence.
So it's like do stuff like in the get-go, like the reason that we did this band, especially for me, is not to just like, you know, like sell records, make money, to be famous. It's really just like all the like creative outlet, all the frustrations, and all the creativity that we had. We just want to like share it. We just like want to let it flow. So, and that's itself like all the members in Social Circuit, like other than myself and Duha, my lead guitarist, most of the bandmate is like I would say like they are very fluid. At the moment, I would say there's like Social Circuit have 8 members.
I noticed that like on your guys' Instagram, like that's a lot of names. And when I saw them at It's a Fest, I don't think there's that members, but okay.
Yeah, especially like at this age, like because like we are not playing music because we want to make money, and that in itself is a problem because like playing this kind of music, playing tours and everything needs a lot of money. And so like by having extra members, we are always saying like, okay, who's up for it? Who wants to get on it? Who needs this? Who wants to like, you know, like who wants to go tour Japan? Who wants to like go around? So it's the band needs minimum of 4 people to make sure that we can have a good set. Other than that, we can 6 or 4 minimum.
Oh, that's a smart way because like post-corona, getting older and stuff, I think we've always known like members and stuff, it has to be so solid and stuff, but life is so difficult now that, and I think people yeah, and I think people can let like go of their pride and be like, oh, you go on this tour this time, I'll go to the next tour. That's fine, like as long as I get to still be a part.
Yeah, not everybody has like a lot of time, and not everybody is like me. Like I need this like a lot, so everybody just takes in like what they can give in terms of like money commitment. Everybody just like just do what they can, you know. That is the kind of handshake that we had when we made the band, because I was already in a band that everyone needs to be the lineup, and then the money is put there, and then we only move with the band money. We don't do anything else. And I was already in a band where like, I don't have any say. I just play in the band, but it was all fun. But in terms of like creative, there's almost like none. But there's a lot of fun in that sense as well. So in Social Circuit, for me, for us, the band drives forward more. It's more. Yeah, it's just that it's very hard because I'm the vocalist, so I'm the main driving factor of the band. But I'm always like okay if they like can somehow like find a different vocalist if they have a different project they want to pursue with the band. Yeah.
Oh, so that
the band is more important than me. Yeah.
Literally the band is more important. Like the fluidity, like this is a very fluid band, and it makes so much more sense now. Like I seeing all the names on Instagram.
That's how we can be that active as a like small time Southeast Asian band back in like 2016, like touring here and there, going to South Korea, going to Japan with like little to no money, but because we have
Okay, yeah. Like I said, this makes so much damn sense, and like it makes with touring a lot easier in terms of post-corona.
I'm sure like even in Korea, right? Like you can find like, okay, let's say Kisa of the Gigs, he loves like touring around. And then you find like another member who loves like touring around. So that was the basic of the idea. Like I can find a lot of people who love touring around, but we don't necessarily be in a band together. But like I band like so everybody can like take whatever they need from the band. Like, you know, like if they already had like a very bad month, they just want to play music, they just want to like let it go. So like this is the outlet. So
you're literally creating a space for musicians to just be musicians and have a good time.
Yep.
That's I would say there's a similar concept. My friend here in Korea has a similar concept where she has like 20 people playing a band. They do a show, and like halfway through the show, a guitarist will change, a drummer will change, the vocalist will change, but they all just like interchange out and just have a good time. So I think that's really a cool concept that you've like kind of like, I would say you're definitely pretty sure pioneering that out in Southeast Asia and whatnot. I don't know. I would say the closest thing is like with Angel Dust.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
close. I've never heard anything about like the original member even left the band, but they are definitely not active in the band. I heard somewhere that Pat uh, was actually Pat and maybe Daniel Fang was involved in the new release. The what was it called? Space Jam. They
yeah.
were in the writing of the tracks, but
That,
they didn't. Obviously, they wouldn't have the time at all to even
oh,
go on.
definitely. And I'm not surprised, but like like any other band, I'll be like, well, I don't know what's going on, but because of the like both of the connection with other bands and their history, it just makes sense that they are just, you want to come tour with us, you want to come play, or you want to come write a little bit. Like it's a very fluid band.
Exactly. That's the. I think meeting the guys from Angel Dust before actually like inspired us as well. Like like okay, like the band needs to move, but everybody has their own shit. Everybody has family. Everybody has other bands as well. But like everybody still wants to do it, but just doesn't have the time. Like for instance, let's say like our number one drummer. Like we have like two drummers in the band. So Akil is the one that's currently like playing all the shows. But like if Akil couldn't make it, I would call our second guitarist, which is Arai, which is our original drummer. Sorry, yeah. So if Akil couldn't make it, I would call up Arai if he can make it. So at least like it gives us the options like, Akil couldn't make it, but we have another drummer. Then he can make it, so we can play the shows. Yeah,
That's awesome. And I think what I was saying earlier was like, I think like the whole being in a band, everyone's in this band, we have to be in a bit together. I think I won't say it's like a pride thing, but everyone's like, we're brothers, we got to stick together, you can't leave. And I think that's just how bands have always been. But I think things are changing, evolving, and I think people are a little bit more with being vulnerable and being like, you know what, I can't make this tour, I still want to be in the band, let's try and like co-parenting. It's like we're divorced, they're like we're not, but we're still taking care of the child, the band. And like,
because I couldn't have that kind of deal anymore in a band because especially being in a band in Southeast Asia, like it's very tough for your band to get big. Like let's say your band hit speed big, you can manage with like probably like with money and some endorsement as well. You can move things around. You can get bigger opportunity in terms of like making money out of doing it, playing music. But like most of the time, being in a band in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, you're not making any money at all. So you're just like draining a lot of money. So
you're having fun, but losing lots of money probably.
Yeah, it's not that fun, right? So hence why this band exists. Like, and what we're doing is like, okay, we are giving chances to a lot of people. Like, not because like, for instance, like if it's possible, I want everybody in the band, all 8 of them want to follow us in the band. But my guitarist Johnny, I think probably you met him when he was in Korea.
Yes.
Yeah, he couldn't make it because like he has a shoot for his company. He's a producer, so he has shoot for the next like 7 days, so he couldn't follow. Yeah, and our bassist couldn't follow because he got work commitments. So we got another bassist to fill up on the position. So it's things like that, because the band still need to go on tour,
right?
And I don't really want to like find sessionists. I want people to like give a bit of themselves in the band. So
just a little bit, not a lot, but just enough to where like, hey, I need you for a show or a couple of days. Can you do it? Yeah, like you said, like that whole being in that band structure. You've been in bands for a long time, so I think it clicked and you or like you finally got it. Like, hey, there's other ways. It's not just one way of being in a band.
Yep.
So you unlocked a new cheat code to the world, possibly.
Probably. I hope that more bands can see it this way, because like I know a lot of people who are active in a band, and I know a lot of people who would like to be as active in a band, but they couldn't. So to have like this kind of like arrangement actually helps the band themselves to like move forward. Like for instance, like in Singapore, there's a lot of bands who died after they get called for national service, which is something that
Korea
similar
has
to like
some, yeah.
yeah. So because you are away for like 2 years and you couldn't like tour or anything, like and you can't do much playing music. So it, probably those kind of things like in my band as well. Like, or let's say like you have a prior commitment like for like the next 6 months and you can't do anything. I can't like be pausing the band for 6 months just because of one person, right? And I don't want to like kick anyone out of the band because the connection that you create with somebody, you know, is just as important. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it sucks like, oh man, we're really cool, and like, oh, you gotta go, and you're like, no, don't go. Like we're tight. Like, like
Exactly.
connections are a great thing, but it's having a great connection is awesome. But if connection has to be split and it's great, oh, it's a horrible breakup or horrible split. Oh, so I can only imagine being in bands and stuff. So many people, you're like, oh, we can't play in a good band anymore, man. Oh,
I've been through it a lot of times as well.
lots of heartbreaks. I can imagine. Oh, okay, that's really good. As you're talking about, people touring and not being able to tour and everything, this makes me I'm curious about tour life in like Malaysia, because I've been to Malaysia once in my life, very short time and everything. Kuala Lumpur, it's dope. A lot of bands have been coming through a lot and everything, but I'm curious from as a I would say you're a big man in Malaysia and you're a big man in the scene. Like what's it like touring in Malaysia for you? Like,
It's good, but we don't really have a tour cycle.
mm,
Even though you can, because there's a lot of like cities that you can play, but they are probably like two major cities you can hit. Like you can get like about like 200 to 300 like per show.
oh,
Yeah, but other than that, like there's like a few countries that you can go, and usually like the distance between each state is just like 2 hours away.
mm-hmm.
Back then, let's say like before 2010, a lot more like touring bands from outside of Malaysia actually tour Malaysia and not just like play Kuala Lumpur and then go to the next country, right?
Mm.
But like nowadays, that's what it is, because a lot of bands actually want to hit more countries rather than just like play 2-3 shows at one country.
Right.
Which I think that it's a opportunity lost, because the problem about touring Southeast Asia is that there's so many countries, and then like flying is just it just takes it out of you. Imagine like the
Yeah.
current way of all the bands doing it is they will arrive at 10 a.m. and then they play the show at probably 6, and then the show ends around 12 or 1 p.m. and then they have to catch a flight at 5 or 6 a.m. and then they have to repeat that for like 6 days. Yeah.
Every time I see when a band comes out here and like does Southeast Asia tour, I'm just like, so brutal. Like there's not even a little bit of breathing. I know they want to hit all those cities like different. I know hitting all those countries is good for exposure and just everything they need, but like I kind of feel like, the same way. Like try staying in the country a little bit longer if they could.
Because pre 2010, a lot of the band actually give like 2 weeks at least to go through Southeast Asia. So they'll play like 3 or 4 cities in Malaysia. They play at least two cities in Thailand. They play 2 or 3 cities in Philippines, or maybe they'll play like 5 cities in Indonesia. So like but now they give you like 5 dates and they want all of it like different countries.
Do you know why it changed like that? Why they want to go fast? No, you can't.
I think it's the idea of like you don't get to go to Southeast Asia a lot. Don't get the chance to come down. So you try to hit as many places as possible, because like in a tour date, it just seems more like boom, to be able to go to 5 countries instead of like playing 5 cities in one country. But at the same time, like it gives you the chance to like see your fan base or like see other scenes as well, because it's so diverse, man. It's like, imagine like waking up every day and like you have to talk in a different language. You have to like the transaction is super different. The cities are different.
Oh, absolutely, because all the places that they've gone and most bands go, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, I've been to all of them, and it's just crazy. Like,
it's not like you go to like the African continent, or probably you go to like South America and like probably it's about the same. Nah, man, like Thailand works differently, Malaysia works differently, Singapore works differently. Like all of the countries work differently, and they talk different languages as well.
yeah, and I'm thinking like, oh, there's probably like, there's small similarities, but for the most part, it's literally like night and day. And even though some places are so close, but just completely like different. Like them wanting to hit those 5 countries in 5 days. I'm just like, y'all wild. I mean, I guess they have the energy for it, but I'm like spread it out a little bit.
Over here, we have like quite a good, I would say, tour circuit. Like if you want to do it, so far like, I already have my own plan for Kids on the Move. When social circuit finishes in September, we're going to Jakarta for a festival. So after that show, like I'm going to put on my Kids on the Move hat. Now we're gonna finish the record. We're gonna go on tour. We're gonna be like playing probably like we have to like drag it. We won't be able to do like back to back because it's just not sensible in that sense.
Right.
Because like Malaysia doesn't have that like weekday kind of show culture. It's still like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And since like the drive isn't that far, so like let's say I can start from Kuala Lumpur and then go down to this like the state below in Malacca, and go down to Johor Bahru, and then cross to Singapore, and all of that is just ground transportation, just driving.
Yeah,
like 2-3 hours away from each other, and probably like the last one will be like 5-hour drive back to KL, and then another weekend we'll go to like Perak for like 2-hour away, and then the next day we can go to Penang and then play Kedah, and then go back 5 more hours. Yeah, but those are like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you go back on Monday. You see, like you can split it up. You don't have to like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Like, you know, like the traditional way in the States they do it. Like in Malaysia, you don't need to do it. You can actually like spend 1 month. You can go to you can cross the Southeast Asia Sea to the Sarawak and Sabah, to the Borneo side. You know, there's a tour cycle there that hasn't been tapped, which is crazy.
And you think the market out there, like the scene is like big enough to where
the scene is very young. The scene is very young, so they are eager. If you ask me, like you can't make money much out of tickets, but you definitely can make money out of merch because they have the numbers. But the scene is still very young.
Just one band has to go and take that leap of like going out there.
My band is gonna be the one because I'm more ambitious in that sense. Because I just
Dean on the move, baby. Dean on the move.
Because I just came back from Sarawak for a sports event, and I talked to like a lot of people who are in the music since then. They were telling me about all these like venues, places that you can play, that you can start from like Sarawak from here, and then like go all the way through like Brunei, and then like go to Sabah towards the end, and it's just like so ambitious. Like I really have to like try it one day.
So, and like with your like 20 years in the game and everything like this, no one has ever really like done this like that. Really?
Yeah. But at the same time, like it's not really connected. But I think they just finished, or like it's still in the making. It's called the Pan Borneo. So since there's that expressway it's an opportunity for one band to actually start it, and then like everybody just gonna be like book a bus and then like do a tour and stuff.
They did
It's
it, we
gonna
can
be
do it too and everything. You just got to be, you're the trendsetter. You got to be the one that starts it, everything.
awesome. Because like
Ah.
somebody have to show that it's doable. Then everybody just I can do it. Like it's not that hard.
No, I think a lot of things in life, they're not, it's, if anything, it's not too hard. It's just scary when you haven't done it. And as long as you go slow and not too fast, it's not that bad once you get it done. It's just scary.
It is.
Yeah, but once you do it, that first step, you're doing it like, oh, I just did it. That wasn't that bad. Let's keep going and stuff. So once you guys start doing that stuff, everyone else will start following you. You just gotta
like one of the reasons that I'm like non-stop like truck flying here and there, it's not just to like, you know, like I wanted to show people that it's doable. Like, you know, like you don't have to just be like a band like home. Like even when I speak to like a lot of Korean bands, I always say, come to Malaysia. Your money is good. You can play like 5 cities here. Like just use your own money. Like you're gonna have like cheap booze, cheap food, and then you're gonna be able to travel. You're gonna be able to play music. Like that's why every country that I go to, if I meet Japanese, if I meet an Indonesian, dude, let's do it. You know, don't wait. I'm the example. You know, we don't have a lot of money. Malaysian ringgit and Japanese yen is like 3.5, 3.7 higher.
Ooh.
But like, what the fuck did we do it? You know,
you're living proof. You're doing it. You're doing it. Which makes me think like, all right, you saying that if my band gets stuff ready and everything, I'll start my first band ever. We coming to Malaysia.
How easy it is. Like you should ask Jeff, Trash, and Biawe how easy it is. Like the most ambitious show I did was like I had like whatever that means. I had Pum from Japan. I had Hamsway from the States. And I had Straight Answer from Indonesia. Straightforward from Singapore. Who else? Did I have a band from Thailand as well? Like, which is crazy. It was all in one show.
This is all you. This is all you organized.
I mean, plus, not just me. Like,
but it was a combination of things. I wanted to talk about this much later, but like that particular show, like, is going through. I was like, because I do you know that podcast called Hard Lore?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo from Harnsway. They talked about like, oh yeah, Southeast Asia tour here and there, and I was going through. I was like, oh, is that the show? One of the shows he played and everything. And at the time, I just moved to Korea, so I was not into shows. I wasn't looking at stuff, so I completely missed this. And so like, you're talking about this show, like, you know, whatever that means, came and played. What do you mean, like, just do it? Like, tell me about this. Like, yeah, how did this all get started on that show and everything?
I actually like it was weird how everything like just like cross their path towards the same week, because whatever that means, I was helping whatever that means book their Malaysia tour.
Mm-hmm.
Then Straight Answer was like going to Europe, I think, so they were passing by Malaysia. And Straightforward was just our friends from Singapore who just love to play KL at any given time. And then Hamsui was touring with Palm. So it was a matter of like, okay, do I like help like one band do one show and some other promoter will do like one show at the same time? Like there will be like 7 or 5 shows happening at the same time. So yeah, I take it upon myself to just like, okay, we had a discussion together with the ALT Plus crew. Back then, we actually had our own venue, but we held the show at a bigger place because it's such a massive show that we needed a bigger space.
Yeah, like I was looking at the lineup, I was like, this is a pretty stacked lineup and everything. Like it's like practically a mini festival.
Yeah, I went to the airport for like 5 times. that like in the morning and then like after, the day after as well. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, you must have been like just out of your mind.
Yeah, it helps that a lot of friends are around, you know, like because I like some of the like closer bands like Straight Answer, Straightforward, I wouldn't be able to like hang out with them a lot. So like I had the pleasure to have a lot of friends to like help out here and there, you know, to host and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
Community. Yep.
And I'm very, very curious. Like during the show, like Palm, Arms, did you happen to watch the show, the show that them play and everything?
It's
Or were you too busy? You were all over the place.
it's very tough to see a show in the eye of a promoter, of the organizer. Snippet of it. You see snippet of the sets, and then it's more like a very long day, from like the day before and then the day after, and yeah, because like it's a lot of like moments. Like you'll be hanging out with the band, and then you'll be hanging out with. You'll be at the show and making sure that everything runs, the ticketing runs, the merch table goes well, and everything. Just, you know, putting out fires here and there. So I get to see some of the songs, but definitely usually like I wouldn't be able to watch the whole set. Because when I did the Turnstiles show as well, I was like here and there. You know, I really wanted to catch the whole set, but I just couldn't.
That's the cons of like bringing these bands too. Most likely you might not be able to see them, but hey, you're the one bringing them. So.
Totally different experience than like, you know, like paying a ticket and just going to see the show.
The life we live, it can be cruel sometimes.
But like it's the things that came out of like doing promoting is something that you can't buy with money as well. Like because of the tour. Because of that show, I got close with the guys from Palm as well. And then like every time I go to Japan, you know, like I always get like a standing offer. I think I get to see Between the Barrier and Me for free, just because I was passing through Osaka and Palm was playing the show. It's crazy. Yeah. It's those kind of things.
I mean, it has its perks, I guess.
It does.
Yeah. And speaking of it, we got a little bit of time left. Going to Japan and everything, like, you guys got ready and everything for that. Like, what are you looking forward to on this Japan tour?
We are looking into like reconnecting first, because it's already like 5 years ago that we went to Japan the first time. And we will be reuniting with some of the bands that we played last time, like Enzwag, Bearware, the band that we toured together when we went there for the first time. So for me, the first is just to like reconnect with all of our friends there. And then this time around, I think like we managed to like book like a slightly bigger venues and like bigger acts. So like it was surprising to see like some of the acts that we're going to be playing with, like Forget Me Nots, and Holo Suns, and like Awesome Android, a lot of bands, and even like finding out some of the bands that we never knew. And I was just like while doing like all the creative stuff, like social media stuff, I look up the social media page, their songs on Spotify. It's just like it just gives me like, okay, I need to do like better. I need to be ready, like to be like performing with like together with like such great acts, you know. It's just like so exciting.
You gotta bring your A game.
Yeah, man. Like for me, like it's a good challenge. Like, you know, like the better they are, like then the better I have to be. You know?
Nice. All right. And before we go, I wanted to ask a little bit. You said your favorite band is Have Heart, correct?
Yeah, definitely one of my like go-to band. Like when I don't know like what else to listen to.
Good. As a fun little thing, I made a little Have Heart trivia game.
Oh, cool.
And see how little short game, just see how well you do. 5 questions. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, like I'm bad at trivia, but we'll see. I mean, okay. We crossed paths. We played show before as well. So
yeah. And who knows? Maybe my trivia questions aren't that good, but let's give it a try. Question 1: Have Heart is from Old Bedford, Massachusetts. True or false?
Yeah, Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Boston, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Incorrect. They're from New Bedford,
New
Massachusetts.
Bedford?
New Bedford.
Okay. Is it near though? Like I'm not that good at like United States geography.
Same.
I thought they are band from Boston, especially having a song called Boston.
I think they're like their home. It's like a small town, but they just claim the bigger Boston area.
I've heard of the name New Bedford like being thrown around like from here and there, but yeah, I just like.
It's all good. Question 2: Their debut EP was released on what record label?
I want to say Rivalry Records, or is it British?
Think Fast.
Think Fast. Oh shit. Okay, that's cool. You know, like one of my favorite T-shirt back then was the Geeks Think Fast Records.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I wore that shirt a lot until I got like a lot of holes in it. So yeah, Outbreak also like one of like the bands that like inspired me with this song. It's cool.
Good inspiration. Question 3: Which band has Have Heart not toured with? Madball, Parkway Drive, 100 Demons, It Dies Today.
I want to say It Dies Today.
Correct. They have not toured with It Dies Today.
Because It Dies Today sounds like a lot like Trustkill side of the spectrum. Yeah.
I tried to throw an oddball one in there. Maybe that was too easy. When Have Heart came to Kuala Lumpur, what was the name of the venue they played?
MCPA, because we played the same show.
Too easy. Okay, I wanted to give you that easy.
We opened for them, so I would know the show. I would know the venue.
I was hoping maybe it's so long ago you maybe forgot, even though you did play it. Dang it.
The show was too epic for me to forget because he injured his leg, so he had to perform with like mic stand and stuff. And a lot of people were just like standing on the stage, being stage potatoes, and he was like saying something about like stage potatoes, but like I think Malaysians back then didn't know what that term is, so they were just like nothing's going on, so they are just excited to see him.
Oh my god, that's too cute.
Yeah, it is like
and last question: which famous actor wore a Have Heart shirt? Matt Damon, Chris Evans.
Is it Ben Affleck?
It's too easy.
because Ben Affleck buys stuff from Wish9, so probably that's why. Yeah.
You're the Have Heart king over here.
Nah, man, like I don't know much.
You know a lot.
Not that much, man. I don't know they were from New Bedford, so that's news.
New information. New Bedford, new information.
Yeah.
All right. Dean, we're about to head out and everything. Is there anything you want to say before we head out and everything?
No, man. Thank you so much for taking interest in Social Circuit and me. It's always fun to talk about the things that we created. It's always fun, and it's always for us. We appreciate like people who take time to listen, analyze, try to understand what we're trying to make out. Because in the end, like these are all some of the most like personal things that we did. It's not like we want to tell people, oh, it's personal and everything. It's just that like it's something that we keep very close to our heart. And knowing that someone like you or anyone like appreciate it, it's just like means the world. It just means like, okay, we want to tour more places. Probably like we go out of our comfort zone and like probably like go to like countries that we haven't been to yet. Next.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming by. We're gonna have to do a part 2 soon because this has been so much fun. Thanks for everyone coming by. My man Dean, check out his band Social Circuit.
A way out, but I promise course I'll sit here by your side.
Hey guys, have you checked out any of the merch from Diazable that we have on our online store? We have some of these designs up, some cool gym looking gear. Fan favorite, Baby Noodle, Be a Fucking Devil. Yeah, some of our most hated merch ever, but I love Hate Breed. Yay! Sticker packs too. Who doesn't like Baby Noodle eating pizza? Yeah. Keychains, yeah. And of course, we have koozies. Yeah, who doesn't like a good koozie? So check out our merch store, Diazable.com, and support your local business. And a friend who's not trying to work a 9 to 5 anymore. Trying to do something with my life.